What's poppin', homies? It's your girl, Gossip Girl here, and I have an update about the story I discussed yesterday about the victims in Panama that were being killed and doing the rituals. Well, I want to find out who found this out. Who was the one to tell the officials, the authorities, about the situation? And here it goes. So I want to find out how were the bodies discovered and who discovered them. So the senior prosecutor said the grave was discovered after locals alerted authorities last week about several families being held against their will by an indigenous church. They were performing a ritual inside the structure. In that ritual, there were people being held against their will, being mistreated. All of these rites were aimed at killing them if they didn't repent for their sins. So it had to be one of the locals. One of the locals stumbled across the graves and let the authorities know. And I'm kind of glad that happened that way, because if that wouldn't have happened, a lot of people would have been dead with the situation. And this is serious, because people are just taking matters into their own hands with a certain religion, and they thinking it's right and it's not, and lives are being taken. So I'm glad that this person went as fast as they could to tell the officials, the authorities, of what happened. That's great. But I also found this out as well. In 2018, 250 priests from 50 countries attended the Vatican's annual exorcism course due to increasing demands among some of the world's Catholic communities. I did not even know that this was still a thing. Like I said, I've heard of exorcism, but it never went past the movies for me. I didn't know that they was practicing that outside of the movies, outside, into the real world. So to me, that's kind of like, it's shocking, But the world we live in is kind of crazy. So, nowadays you can't put nothing past anybody, but I was digging deeper into exorcism, and you'll be surprised of the countries that are practicing that. And, it was just crazy. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's time for me to leave this alone because it's getting too deep, and I wasn't liking what I was reading. It was some stuff being done in Mexico and all over the place. And I'm like, you know what? After this is it. I am not talking about it anymore. But I did want to come and give a brief update about how the bodies were discovered, who discovered the bodies. And it was a local that discovered the bodies. And I'm so glad that person did. They did not mention any names or anything, which they shouldn't have to. That person did their job of letting the authorities know what was going on. I'm so glad they did. So, but that still is crazy, So I just want to come in real quick to give an update. I do have something that I am working on, and I will probably put that up later on tonight. Okay, so you guys have a good one, and I will talk to you later.